Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, August 29, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a reverse aging health call and all the rest tonight. We're going to talk about the financial transition to global currency reset, how it's actually structured, and what it's supposed to accomplish. You want to make sure you're in a comfortable position, relaxed into your body, no outside distractions, still as a statue, and focus on your breath rising and falling. It's like what you choose, you get. And I say this a lot because it needs to be said constantly to keep it front and center and to keep us focused on this transition. The reason everything is taking place is because of the collective consciousness. It's the intent. Some are consciously aware, some are not consciously aware, obviously. And as I've said before, we come into these bodies on this planet to enjoy our lives. Doesn't that make sense? We do not come here to suffer, stress, struggle, pain, anxiety, all of it. Okay? Yes, of course, there's bright spots in it. But we didn't come here. See, because of the fact that, let's put it this way, we come in asleep and we leave asleep. All right? Is that artificially done? Yes, it's artificially done. You know, we are manipulated, the gods, and we are tricked. And we're tricked over and over again. And this has been going on for a very long time. And it is ending, believe it or not. The evil, the dark on this planet is being mitigated. And you can see the squirming and the running and all the stuff happening. And we have, is it a first for this planet? Pretty much. Is it a complete liberation? Absolutely. But you're going to get both sides of the coin, remember. You're going to see the ugly, the fugly, and the creepy stuff that has been suppressed and hidden for just a very long time. And where the people are transitioning, even the ones that are insane, okay? The only way to describe those who would give all their energy to deter goodness and happiness from progressing, advancing, proliferating, saturating, expanding, growing, and would actually want death and destruction is the campaigning, and just in our country, of death and destruction. Murder, death, kill. Support it and want it in your communities and across the country. But that's not happening. The opposite is happening. The mitigation of this structure is happening. We do not have we don't have a false narrative anymore, believe it or not. Of course, the direction out there on the surface would convince many that it's doom and gloom. It's really bad. It's going to get worse. Things are really going to blow up on us. Remember, your choice is your choice. Where you focus is what you'll create and manifest. Now, you can be focused on the bad stuff, but then catch yourself and say, nope, I'm going to switch gears and go over here. It makes much more logic and sense than focusing my power on over here so that it'll grow. I don't think anybody really, except those who are insane. But the rest, I don't believe that we would choose to go in that direction. And it isn't that difficult. It's just about breaking one habit and creating another. Eliminating one habit and creating another. Eliminating the habit of doom and gloom and focusing on, worry, stress, anxiety, fear, and focusing on the now, the heart mind. And I say that a lot because it should be said a lot so people can remember it, practice it continuously, over and over and over again, without fail. And because of that, enough have decided to take that direction and focus on what they want. It's the only reason the things that are happening in this part of this galaxy, in this universe, is because of intent. Collectiveness, a collective intent. This part of the universe in this quadrant of the galaxy, which is transitioning from evil to good. Right? Completely. Now, obviously, there's always dark particles in a flooded light room, and there's always light particles in a pitch black room. We're not really talking about night and day, so to speak. We're talking about opposites. We're talking about the opposite of good is evil. The opposite of evil is good. Yin and yang. White and black are not colors. They're binders to create colors. They really aren't. Black and white are really not colors. Remember when we first came out, we had the black and white TVs, and then eventually people started getting a hold of color TVs. That's about the biggest comparison you can make. Black and white are not colors. They never were. They're binders to create colors. So when we talk about evil, good, we're not talking about dark like nighttime and daytime, put it that way. We're talking about frequencies that are directed to manifest what they represent, and that's where the focus is. The dark frequencies are murder, death, kill, destruction, power, control, manipulation, deception, greed, pain, sorrow, anguish. That's highly ego mind saturated. You can't get any more saturated than that. And this is why, and I get a lot of people that say, well, it seems like there's just a lot of people that have gone insane. They don't make any sense. And they don't. And they are. They have dropped off the edge, and they have been mind warped to the extent where they think that in our communities across this country, we should have murder, death, kill. Rapists, pedophiles, drug runners, sex trafficking. We should have them, and we should treat them honorably, with respect. You see what I mean? That's insanity. When you come across people like that, it's not a judgment. It is a view, a watch of a depiction of saying that they're insane. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. It isn't a label. It is a condition. And see, some of us haven't gotten to a point where we've moved in a frequency way beyond that. So we're kind of like, those people are kind of like behind the eight ball. And they're totally unaware, completely. So they embrace a direction that is fake, phony, and false, but they create it into their reality. And they believe it. And that's insanity. Unfortunately, we have it's shifting, but we have a lot of insanity. Nonsensical verbiage, communications that have no adherence and that make no sense whatsoever to any logical, clear, somewhat clear, aware-minded being. There's no sense in engaging it whatsoever. This is why I say, no matter what's happening out there, focus on what you want, not what you don't want. It's easy to do. None of us are exempt from it. And slowly but surely, things transition. A lot of people that are aware say, it'd be nice to have a system, a financial system, that it's actually aligned for the people and not against the people. In our country, since 1913, we have been under the rule of fake, phony, and false. Tyranny. Fake, phony, and false. Across the board. It's nothing to be embarrassed about or feel guilty about. It was done in a very finite, delicate, slippy, slurpy, slidey way where nobody knew. So insanity took over the country. That's pretty much point blank, and has ruled the country since 1913. And actually, the actual corporation goes 160 years and just kept progressing and progressing and progressing. Globally, the planetary population of Earth is witnessing unprecedented in the history of the planet massive transition. Now, there's a primer. That can't happen unless the collective, the pure consciousness, wants it to. And what I'm talking about is not just the people on this planet, collective consciousness. I'm talking about and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Okay? It's like you get a little bump on your skin that irritates you, right? Small, seems insignificant, but it can cause a lot of pain. Well, it's kind of like that. And as the collective identifies troublesome areas, its duty throughout, now this is happening literally throughout the universes, expunging evil as the light, the good, comes in. Trust, non-judgment, bliss, joy, benevolence, honesty, truthfulness, giving, generosity, humbleness, kindness, moving in place. Not just here, but throughout the universe. And all the connecting universes. It's kind of like one massive energetic sweep. And people say, well, we're going through this photon light energy field. Well, that's what we're made of. Photon light particles. The God, pure consciousness, kingdom of God, the heaven. This is what we're made of. This is what we really are. And we're all part of the collective consciousness, which is all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And we go beyond there. So those that are aware, I believe, are beginning to realize it's because of that intent, collective consciousness, that this planet is being liberated. That when we do incarnate, we will enjoy our lives, not fight them, struggle to survive, struggle to live. Okay? That is not our natural state of being. What now? The question is risen to say, well, aren't we supposed to experience? Yeah, we are. And believe it or not, we've experienced all this crud many times. We really don't need to experience it anymore. So this is another reason the transition of awakening is front and center. We will enjoy life. Will we still learn, experience? Absolutely. But not pain, sorrow, and destruction, and murder, death, kill, and that won't be in existence. It'll be expunged. And you imagine when you're in your natural state of being, you're that much more powerful. Okay? And you're in the present moment, the now, and the heart-mind, and the ego-mind is gone. This transition can't be stopped. Period. We are in full boat, full mode of transitioning. Some of us will end up reincarnating until they become aware enough to transition. Others of us will transition, and we're right in the middle of it. It's not a win. See, that's ego mind. Look at me, I'm better. It's none of that. We're all gods in body. And some of us will transition now, and others later. And that's what this is about. It isn't really about money. It's not about those infrastructures. We're moving from a slave civilization to a freeborn civilization. That's where we're heading. And I think that a lot of you can see that without judgment and analysis and dissecting, and that we're watching it. And see, when you're a watcher or an observer, you don't get muddled. See what I mean? You're not muddled in it. You're not participating in it. You're watching it. And by watching things from afar, through heart-mindedness, you take in a lot more. You see a lot more. And this whole process is about learning, gaining the knowledge of this entire earthly transformation, where people eventually are transitioning into deeply and eternally loving themselves, head to toe, inside and out, with all the parts, okay, good, bad, ugly, all the parts, all the forgiveness, and begin embracing ourselves with reverence, with a high amount of respect through heart-mindedness. And we're transitioning into that permanency of heart-mindedness. not back and forth. Right now we're back and forth. Heart, mind, ego, mind, heart, mind. But we're transitioning where we will not go back and forth. We will be heart, mind, in the now. So we won't project. We won't be interested in looking into the future. We won't be interested in looking into the past. We'll be deeply grateful for the very moment we're in. This is how we transition on this planet. And what about the planet herself? Well, just like us gods inhabit these physical forms, right? This planet has a god within it. And that god decides to inhabit the planet, right? Not much different. It's a physical body, okay? And we're physical beings, so size-wise, well, sure, it's different. But it's very similar. And so the God within this planet, like the gods that are within these bodies, are one. Just like Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, and this quadrant of our solar system. Because we've got over 160 planets. That's why they keep saying, oh, we found another one. Oh, here's another one. Oh, this one's over here. And all the planets, whether it's a gas giant, whether it's, a Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn, it's all designed for gods to inhabit. Pure consciousness. Frequencies, energetics. Remember, everything is energy. Everywhere. Out in the darkness of space is energy. Energy creates all things. Manifests all things. Right? It's quite fascinating. And it's a never-ending process that we have. It's a continual progression. And this is why I say it's all about you, because you begin to understand who and what you are. Then you'll be able to comprehend all the other stuff out there. And it won't be beyond you. You'll plug into it. You'll know it. Judgment will leave the civilization. There won't be judgment. There'll be observation. The interaction will be with oneself, and then, of course, with everyone else and every other life form. We're coming out of slavery. And we're moving into freeborn, which means that we'll be able to go anywhere we want. Any part of the galaxy, any part of the universe. We'll expand out. That's what, we were not meant to be sequestered on this planet for eons. It just doesn't make any sense, does it? We were meant to progress, flourish, advance. And we advance by interacting with other civilizations, which all have gods within them. And we continue to do this. It's part of our growth and divine perfection. And we move. So in other words, it's like, well, okay, so Earth, whatever name, this planet's had many names, is a planet that has a civilization, and that civilization progresses out into the universes. There are other human civilizations that look just like us, but we don't know they're out there, and those planets have been seeded. And interacting with other physical life forms gives us a broader spectrum of scope, comprehension, right? Knowing certain things, gaining knowledge from other species as they would us. Because that's where it's going. If anybody believes that we're going to be, just continually glued to this planet and never get off of it, then they're insane. They shouldn't. They need to progress more. Let's put it that way. And that's what this is about. Recognizing the power that we are as gods in these bodies. The power is immeasurable. We can really create and manifest anything we choose. And that's the dangerous part, because the majority are in ego mind. That's when things get really screwy. Heart-minded is different. Like in this meditation, in the quiet time of this meditation, that's heart-minded. That's the now. Silence. Complete silence. Space between heartbeats. Space between breaths. That's the now. Okay? Moment to moment. And I think more of us are beginning to recognize the fact that, hey, wait a minute, I'm focusing on the now. I'm deeply grateful for the very moment I am in. Okay? And after a while, it becomes automatic. It's just automatic. You, at certain times during the day, evening, morning, night, whatever, you just automatically say to yourself, I'm deeply grateful for the very moment I'm in. I'm grateful that I'm walking. I'm grateful that I'm talking. I'm grateful that I'm breathing. You do it with deepness, okay? And sincerity with oneself, not superficial. Superficial is ego mind. We embrace it. And our highest frequency is deep eternal love. Romantic love is a very small part of that. Very tiny part of that. But deep eternal love is what we are. You know? We're not warmongers, destroyers, deceivers. We are deep eternal love. And with that comes bliss and joy and happiness. All the time. This is what we're made of. And some of us just, we get up in the morning and decide to be happy. There's no reason why. Why are you happy? Does there have to be a reason why that you're happy? No. Society wants to know why, the human psyche, but there's no reason to why are you happy? Why are you blissful? Because it's part of me. It's who and what I am. See, now that's not prevalent, obviously. Because it's very unusual to come across somebody who just decides to be happy for no reason whatsoever. Right? Or to be blissful. Or grateful. There's a reason to explain why. There's no reason why. It's just because you choose to. That's wild, isn't it? Just like a lot of people choose to be angry, upset, irritated, worried, stressful, fearful. That's just no way to go. And I believe more and more people are realizing that, and that they aren't powerless, that they aren't weak, that they aren't stupid, that they aren't dumb. They're the opposite. And embracing this is what's causing the transition to really percolate all over this planet. And it seems you don't get too close to it, because then it can suck you in. You take several steps back and you watch it all. And then you start seeing more and more positive things. And you focus on the positive thing. Even in the darkest of darkness, there's positive. And all you have to do is pick the positive, focus on the positive. You're not ignoring the negative. We've all been that route many, many, many times. So it's fully underway. It's not going to happen in 2 days. We all know that. But the transition is fully underway. And we're going to see a lot of things. And people say, well, we've already seen a lot of things. But not what you're going to see. What you're going to see has never been witnessed before on this planet. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Relaxed into your body. Focus on your breath rising and falling. Enlightenment comes like a bolt of lightning, yet can trickle throughout your life like a slow, soothing stream. Investigate today how you casually react to people. Notice if you generally have a protective hardness, lightness, resistance, friendliness, defensiveness, pushiness, or perhaps a needy energy. Watch what typical reaction you have with others and don't change it. Let it change into something else on its own. Be patient with it. Ask it questions that might unravel its past. Do not be attached to what comes about. Simply drop into it profoundly. Choose to be in your heart of your programming deeply, and let the self-realization come out of it. This is the only thing that will stop the habits and is how you will evolve quickly in your consciousness. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you. We'll return here tonight after 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health flow and all the rest. And Saturday, August 30, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.